Greetings everybody, welcome to another Aznable Guides. For today, this is going to be kind of an add-on for the last live stream we did, which was the start of the complete beginner's guide to Gunpla, and we are doing the HGUC Moon Gundam. But yeah, so in that video I talked about nub removal and stuff like that, and a couple different ways to do it. This video is just going to be a short little tutorial video. I'm going to take a couple of these pieces, going to nip them off the runners, and then kind of sand them down. I'm going to use a couple different things. So I'm going to show the difference between using cheapo nippers and something like God Hands. And then I'm also going to show the difference in using filing sticks, and then some of the filing and buffing, if I could find them, pads. I use a combination of these and these when I'm doing my own stuff. But, yeah, so that's what we're going to do with this short little video. And it's just going to be quick, kind of sweet to the point, just to show those newbies out there, you know, that you can get rid of nubs and repolish the plastic back up to where it needs to be, and it'll look nice out of the box. No paint, no modifications, no extra steps necessary besides a couple things. And, yeah. And I will show, actually, too, a way of doing nub removal without one of these. I know some people don't like using them. They're worried about pricking their fingers. Safety first. Use the lid. But yeah, so I will show a couple different ways that you can actually use your nippers and not one of these, and then this stuff, and get a good result. So let's truck on. Alright, this is from a runner from one of my kits I'm working on the side. Well, will be working on eventually. Anyways, as you can see, it's very big. The side of the head is, well, the size of my thumb. It's a big guy. Alrighty then. We'll start with the generic starter nippers. Okay. So again, we're going to cut back away from the piece. As you can see, I'm going back here, not up here. Don't cut up here near, close to it, cut back here, away from it. The reason we do that is because it helps alleviate stress. I will show you in just a second. Okay, that's done. Put that up, yeah, there. Put it there. Stay, thank you. Alright, let me change the focus on this a little bit. I'm going to go blur for just a second. There you go. Alright, so now that I'm up close. As you can see on the plastic here. There you go. And you see it up close on the plastic. Has that white kind of discoloring there on the ends. And that's from when you're using something like these. They have two blades on them, and they're not very sharp. So it squeezes the plastic, and that's what gets you that discoloration. So if you were to take this and go right up next to the plastic, like that, you end up with this white kind of stress mark right there. No fear, can be fixed. But the way you would typically want to do this, see if I can turn the piece right, there we go. Just come up, not directly on the piece, but back. Might be easier to do it this way. Back here. Like that. Nip that little piece off. And then as you can see, you still have a little piece sitting up right there. Sticking up off the end. Now what we're going to do, so this one we're going to take our hobby knife, go away from us, and we're just going to slowly knock it off there. Okay. So as you can see, there's still that one white little dot right there. And what that is it's still, if you run your finger over it, still a little raised, still a little rough. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out, this is a 240. We're going to use the light blue side. We're just going to slowly, not a whole lot of pressure, drag it across there. Okay, so now it's even, but as you can see, it's kind of cloudy. You get real close, you can kind of see it's scratched up, obviously from the sanding board. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go the next step up. This one is a 320. We're going to do the same thing. Slowly. Not a whole lot of pressure. Okay, so that takes out a lot of the big scrapes and stuff like that in it. Okay, so we got that. Fix this just a little bit more. Yeah, so there you go. Yep, and that went all wonky. No more autofocus. Yeah. There you go. See, it's still a little cloudy. But that's where our next step comes in. Next step up. This is says 240. It's that side's 240. This side is higher. Same thing again. Okay, a little bit, and then this one goes up to 600. And there you are. Nub is gone. It's back to being smooth and plastic-like. Alright, so then we're going to do this one. What we're going to do with this one, so the last one we used the hobby knife to kind of scrape the plastic down. This one still has that nub right there. You can kind of see it sticking up right there. Maybe. Focus. See? Alright. Alright, there we go. Right there. Kind of see it on top. There you go. See? Right there. Nothing. Yep. If autofocus wasn't so bad, and the problem is anytime my hands come into photo, it tries to autofocus on the stuff on the back of my hands. So it takes away from whatever's going on the mat, or whatever I'm trying to hold up. So yeah. Nope, I just ripped that off. Alright, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to go in with no hobby knife whatsoever. So you come in, you clip it off the runner, like we showed there. Clip it off there. Cut off this piece. Cut that off there. You want to leave that little nub there, so it's kind of rough, but there's no stress on the actual piece. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our sanding stick again. We're going to take the rougher side though this time. This is, I want to say, like a 160. And we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're just going to start at a higher grit so that way it takes away that nub without having to actually use a hobby knife. I know some people don't like using them, or if you're a younger modeler and your parents don't want you using them, this is a way that you can get rid of all your nub marks and make your models look nice without ever having to use a hobby knife. Alright, so there's there. We started with 160, flipped it over to the other side, and we're going to go back to our white one. And you don't have to use these exact ones. Local hobby shops sell all kinds of them. I know my local hobby shop sells these sticks, these bigger sticks like this, for like $1.90 a piece. You got little ones like this that are actually twice this length. I just take them and cut them in half, and they sell these for like 50 cents a piece. They're like this long. I can usually use one, or like half of one per model kit. Depends on how big it is. Something like this, which is a perfect grade, take a little bit more than that. But yeah. So, I mean, it's worth investing in. You know, you might spend, depending on what they have at your local hobby shop, or even Amazon, they might have, you know, a couple ones that varies in prices. Like I said, depending on where you're at. Alright, so we took the white one to it. Same thing as before. Just slowly drag. You don't need to like push and gouge hard. Just slightly drag it. It doesn't even have to be a large amount of pressure. With this, I'm literally just setting it on there and then dragging it across. Right, we can go up to our other stick. Make sure when you're doing this too, you want it to be flat against the piece. You don't want to angle it or turn it because you'll end up rounding your edges off. And now back up to this one. And there you have it. No more nub art. No discoloration. No little white stress mark. Like that. None of that. And all without using a hobby knife. Alright. So for this one, just do the same thing. I'll show you guys something a little different once we get there. So if you notice there, it's really tore up. Really tore up. And that's just from using the higher grit side of that. Something else too, when you're done with these, if you get some of these sticks, especially like say these rougher ones, and they start out super rough, after you've used them for a while, that roughness goes away and they start kind of smoothing down. They're not as effective at really taking stuff off. But what you can do is use them as they become a lot softer. Use them as a higher grit stick. It won't necessarily work as well for, you know, say if you need like a 240, but it might work if you need like a 360, something a little bit higher, you know. Okay, so that's what we're at now with that. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take buffing pad. This one, as you can see, is super worn. I've had this thing for, oh geez, probably at least 8 months. I've done a lot of model kits with this. And this is, I mean, it's the same process. No real need for a lot of pressure. Okay, getting there. And you go to the next one up. This pack that I bought, which came with all of these here, and then one other one that I threw away because it was totally destroyed, ran me like $8 off eBay. Or not eBay, sorry, Amazon. Alright, next higher one up. And for anyone super interested, I know Nub Removal is not that interesting, but this is called progressive sanding. You start out low, progressively get higher and higher grits. The higher grit on the sanding pad or stick, the smoother it is. Okay, we got that. And that's the nice thing about these pads is they, like this one here, the 4000 grit pad. It's super soft, but it's really great for buffing and polishing. Show you that here in a second. See, got the edge there. Now with these pads, they are squishy and soft, so it is very important to make sure you're staying level with the piece or even with the piece so you're not rounding edges. As you can see, we're starting to get that shine back. Like this piece over here is not sanded. That's that nice shiny plastic. This is getting back there. That's what we're using the buffing pads for. Wow, can't talk. Alright, now up to 4,000. Alright, and there you go. Nice, super clean, super smooth. Got that nice kind of plasticky shine back to it. So yeah. It's very simple. I know a lot of people are iffy or worried about it. It just takes a little time. You won't build your model kit as fast if you're doing proper nub removal. If you're sitting down, taking your time, cutting stuff off the runners right, not stressing it, using your progressive sanding, you can get it back up and you can do an out-of-box model kit with no need to touch up or cover stuff, and it'll look nice and there'll be no nub marks. Nubs are not good. Not good. But yeah, so there we have it. Like I said, sanding sticks come in all different grits, different shapes, different sizes, just like Gunpla comes in all different shapes, sizes. These buffing pads, I really like them. It comes in handy when doing, if you're doing something a little bit more simplistic, or like my daughter uses them quite a bit when she builds, so that she can get that nice out of box plastic look again. It's just dust. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah. So there we have it. That is Nub Removal 101. Very simple. Alright. So now we're going to compare. So we got that piece. I said that's where we know it. Got our utensils here. Now we are going to compare using these versus something like this. God hands, while they are nice, there are other brands out there that run you about half the cost, so that work just as good. If I can find the link to them, I will put it in the description down below. So go ahead and check that out. Alright, what piece do we want to cut off here? We'll go with the other handle. So with these, cutting away from the piece, you can definitely hear that click. That's from cutting through the plastic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy God hands, and as you can tell, they're a lot different in size. Blades are a lot smaller. Can't hit this focus right. These are actually one-sided. So this side here, that side there, is the actual blade. This side, you can't really tell, but this side is flat. There's no blade there. It's not sharp. And all that it is to help put pressure on the back side of the piece while you're using it to cut through. That's all it's there for. To help put a little bit of pressure on the back side. Because these will cut through almost like butter. Okay. So, back up to the zoomy zoom. Okay. So then we're going to take one of these. Take these. We're just going to cut the snub off right at the plastic. As you can see, white stress mark. Now we're going to take our God hands and these, keep them flat. A little bit of discoloration, but it's very minimal right along the edge. That's something as simple as taking your hobby knife, and there you go. Now there still is, it's hard to see here. There we go. Maybe still is a little spot, but I'm also going to sand that down still. But as opposed to this, which even after you clean off, there's cleaned with the hobby knife, which I keep pointing at the camera. Safety. Safety. Not using it. Put the lid on it. No pokey pokey. But yeah, so as you can see, even when it's cleaned off with the knife, big white spot. Big white spot. As opposed to a little gray spot. So that's the difference. Like I said, there is all kinds of snips out there. Obviously you got your ones like these. These, they have some that are bent here at the head at like a 45. Those are kind of nice for getting in weird spots. But yeah, that's the difference in at least the snips that I have. I use these to cut it off the runner, and then I'll use these ones to clean up the nub and get it a little bit closer. But yeah, so there's that. Definitely worth reset focus. There we go. Definitely worth looking into. Hopefully, for any of you new builders out there, this was at least a little bit helpful. Kind of show the reasoning and the idea behind using the different materials. So yeah, there we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, boys and girls. This has been Char for the Aznable Guides. I will catch you guys next time.